Wheelchairs, wheelchairs, wheelchairs. They are everywhere. What you're seeing is not a massive wheelchair sporting event in China. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Young Chinese are being forced to travel by electric wheelchairs in a creative and effective way to bypass new regulations implemented by the Chinese government from July 1st to crack down on electric bicycles. Two new national standards are being implemented in relation to e-bicycles, with many regions introducing a range of policies concerning these e-bikes, which involve numerous penalties for violations. Since July 1st, according to Chinese media Morning News, a growing number of young people with no other alternatives for commuting have started using electric wheelchairs, frequently appearing in universities, cafeterias, malls, and even racing each other on some roads. Videos such as 30-year-old me commuting daily on a wheelchair and commuting to work on an electric wheelchair are being widely shared on social media. This is because from the 1st of July, many places have launched large-scale rectification campaigns for electric bicycles, even conducting weight checks. As shown in a video uploaded by a netizen, a single intersection in Guangdong was staffed by more than a dozen police officers, sparking public dissatisfaction. A resident of Guangdong complained that the police took away his electric vehicle parked at the entrance of his house without notifying him, which greatly annoyed him. Police from Haizhu district in Guangdong directly entered the local residential compounds, confiscated residents' electric bicycles, and loaded them onto trucks for removal. In a video taken in Zhongshan City, Guangdong, the sheer number of confiscated vehicles is shocking. Other cities in China have also started their rectification campaigns for electric bicycles. At the entrance of the Duchuan Bridge subway station in Suzhou, Jiangsu province, police were seen loading confiscated electric bicycles onto trucks. In Baise City, Guangxi province, police used a tractor to load confiscated EVs onto trucks. In Shanghai, two traffic police officers were seen stopping an EV owner, and local residents were warning each other about police checking for electric bicycles up ahead. In Xiamen, Fujian province, local residents revealed that traffic police had confiscated 2 trucks full of electric bicycles. The video showed thousands of confiscated electric bicycles parked in a local impound lot, including delivery vehicles. A truck driver revealed that during May and June, the number of confiscated electric bicycles was so high that they could fuel over 20 trucks a day. However, as the saying goes, where a measure is taken, there's a countermeasure. In many places such as Hangzhou in Zhejiang province and Qingdao in Shandong province, residents have given up electric bicycles and started using electric wheelchairs for commuting, including many young people as we showed at the start of the video. The report stated that travelling by electric wheelchair is not a violation. Beijing Traffic Management Bureau stated that only motorized wheelchairs for the disabled, which mainly use gasoline as fuel and need to be registered, are currently managed according to traffic regulations. Electric wheelchairs are not classified as vehicles and therefore are not managed as motor vehicles or non-motor vehicles. Electric wheelchairs, unlike electric bicycles, do not require a license or helmet and are not bound by the new e-bike regulations, with no restrictions on travel. Therefore, after the implementation of the new regulations for electric bicycles on July 1st, many young people switched to electric wheelchairs for convenience. A mainland netizen joked, "After seeing this, foreigners might think we are all disabled." China was once a kingdom of bicycles, but with the changing times, low-speed electric bicycles have replaced normal bicycles as the primary means of transportation for the Chinese. In recent years, the Chinese government has also launched successive campaigns to regulate electric bicycles, with special rectification work leading groups established in various regions. According to data from the China Motorcycle Commerce Association in July 2019, approximately 190 cities in China implemented ban on motorcycles and restrictions on electric bicycles control measures. However, according to insider leaks, the reason why Chinese police are so motivated to intercept motorcycles and electric bicycles is actually to make money. The seized vehicles are sold to Africa, Pakistan, and other places. Zhao Yu, formerly the director of an import and export company in Guangdong province, disclosed that the company had ties to the Guangdong Provincial Police Department and the Security Department, essentially acting as their slush fund. Zhao Yu revealed that although Guangzhou had a long-standing ban on motorcycles, many people in the suburbs still rode them. The police continued to catch riders, hauling away the motorcycles on large trucks and then exporting them to African countries. In Guangdong, Shenzhen started the so-called most strict crackdown in history on banning motorcycles and restricting electric bicycles on March 21, 2016. According to official reports, within 10 days of the action, a total of 17,975 electric bicycles were seized and 874 people were detained. The city of Dongguan in Guangdong province has had a ban on motorcycles for many years. In March 2021, a large number of traffic police suddenly hit the streets, forcibly taking away people's motorcycles and electric bicycle. They even went door to door, and children's tricycles were also confiscated. The law enforcement measures of traffic police across China have provoked widespread public resentment. Late on the night of June 13, 2 traffic police officers from Shandong province were seen wielding iron chains to intercept passing vehicles. Their actions, seen as a disregard for the safety of riders, have drawn fierce public criticism. In another incident, a motorcyclist filmed himself complaining about traffic police forcibly stopping vehicles on the road, causing him to fall and injure his arm. After the fall, the officers put up a sign behind his motorcycle, issued him a fine, and then left the scene, neglecting his situation. He called the emergency line, but half an hour passed without any police arriving at the scene. A video shows a woman riding an electric bicycle being surrounded by 3 traffic police officers. Standing in the middle of the road, she breaks down in helpless tears. Eventually, her electric bicycle is confiscated, leaving her squatting on the ground crying. In a similar incident, a woman refused to comply when she was fined for riding her electric vehicle, resulting in law enforcement lifting both her and the vehicle away. Low-speed electric bicycles are convenient for navigating through congested traffic, and many delivery drivers choose to use them for their work. However, to avoid having their bicycles confiscated by traffic police, some delivery drivers have resorted to alternate methods of avoiding inspection, such as carrying their electric bicycles on their shoulders. China is now unequivocally the largest producer and consumer of electric bicycles. Data shows that in 2022, China had 400 million electric bicycles, with an annual production exceeding 35 million units. By comparison, the number of privately owned cars in China was around 230 million. The Chinese government's ban on motorcycles and restrictions on electric bicycles campaign has reportedly sparked widespread public dissatisfaction. Citizens complain, "The ban has been in effect for so long, and the people have lost their means of transportation, making traffic congestion even worse. If I could afford to buy a car, would I need to ride an electric bicycle to pick up my child? If you want to resolve the problem of traffic congestion, why not ban cars on the road?" Not only are there restrictions on electric bicycles, but the authorities have also increased the fines for related behaviors when riding an electric bike. For instance, not meeting the helmet standards while riding can result in a fine. Some netizens complain, "We can't afford to eat, they aren't worried. We can't afford to go to school, they aren't worried. We can't afford to buy a house, they aren't worried. We can't afford medical care, they aren't worried. We can't afford to raise children, they aren't worried. We can't find a job, they aren't worried. We have no means of support when we are old, they are even less worried. We simply wear a regular helmet, and now they suddenly start to care about our safety." In recent years, the Chinese Traffic Management Department has been subject to widespread criticism, with the public sarcastically referring to it as the license robber. With China's economy in decline and many local governments facing financial pressure due to reduced land sales and tax revenues, fines have become a significant source of revenue generation. According to reports from mainland media, Chengwu County in Shandong Province has introduced a monthly penalty subscription where drivers prepay penalties of 1,000 to 2,000 yuan for the month. The Traffic and Transportation Supervision Team then ensures the smooth passage of trucks, whether overloaded or exceeding height limits, for the month. Trucks that do not purchase this monthly pass are seized and heavily fined. A county government in the north has even become a so-called toll collector, with its general public budget just exceeding 100 million yuan per year. Shockingly, the local traffic fines generate over 30 million yuan annually, accounting for a third of the county's fiscal revenue. This mountainous county, through which no expressway passes, is a critical hub for coal transportation. Many coal trucks must pass through this county. Local officials have noted that the county's underdeveloped industry and few businesses lead authorities to turn to the traffic police and other law enforcement departments when funds are needed. Furthermore, the 3rd Squadron of the Huancheng Management of the Changsha Traffic Police Detachment in Hunan Province blatantly hung a banner at the entrance of their office building stating, "Strive in the 3rd quarter, win the battle, and achieve a target of 130 million yuan. An internal notice from the Shanghai Public Security Bureau that leaked online shows that Shanghai traffic police are not allowed to end their workday until they have met the penalty quota set by the Shanghai Municipal Committee. Penalty revenues are a form of non-tax income for the government. They refer to the money generated from penalties imposed by law enforcement and judicial agencies on those who violate laws, regulations, and rules, and from the confiscation of illicit money and goods. Data indicates that in recent years, penalty revenues in many parts of China have shown a significant growth trend. In July 2022, cities across China began to announce their budget execution for the previous year, 2021. Chinese media compiled penalty revenues from over 300 prefecture-level cities across the country. Of the 111 cities that have released their figures, penalty revenues increased in 80 cities in 2021, representing more than 72% of the total. Qingdao City topped the list with penalty revenues of 4.4 billion yuan in 2021, a 2.5 billion yuan increase from 2022, representing a growth of 127%. There were 15 cities where the year-on-year increase in penalty revenue exceeded 100%. Nanchang in Jiangxi Province had the largest increase at 151%, followed by Suqian 133% and Changzhou 110% in Jiangsu Province, Xiangyang 118% in Hubei Province, Yibin 105% in Sichuan Province, Guangdong 102% in Hubei Province, and Jiangxin 105% in Zhejiang Province. Additional data shows that the total amount of traffic fines in China in 2022 was around 300 billion yuan. By the end of 2020, the country had about 281 million civilian vehicles, which means an average fine of over 1,000 yuan per vehicle. According to reports, Han Deyun, a representative of the National People's Congress and a lawyer at Chongqing Suotong law firm, has observed over the years the unreasonable setup and misuse of China's traffic road signs and the electronic police system, which have resulted in enormous fines for traffic management departments. Electronic police is a colloquial term for the intelligent traffic violation monitoring and management system, which includes devices that capture various violations such as running red lights and speeding. Han Deyun revealed many insider details about how traffic management departments set up traps to maximize fines for their own profit. For example, he mentioned that some provinces and cities deliberately set lower maximum speeds on certain smooth open roads, establish multiple speed limits on the same road without any buffer zones in between, alter the lane settings to cause line crossing during smooth traffic, and universally impose fines for parking violations in roadside areas. Han De-yun also mentioned that some of the ultra-bright flashing devices have become a safety hazard to normal traffic order and are yet another fine trap exploited by the traffic management departments for their own gain.